The racism of Argentina shows us why DEI is so important. And racism in Argentina started the same way it did here, the slave trade. In the late 18th and early 19th centuries, Buenos Aires was a huge hub. In 1778, Afro-descendants made up 37% of the population, and a lot of the country remained under the control of indigenous nations. But following their independence from Spain, they wanted to become a powerful, industrial, white nation. So they began the process of literally whitening the country, a real great replacement to the point of genocide. They started by encouraging European immigration, even putting it in their constitution. And so between 1860 and 1930, millions of mostly Italian and Spanish immigrants came to Argentina. And it had the immediate effect of diluting Afro-descendant and indigenous populations. During war, they would send a disproportionate amount of both free and slave black men to the front lines. Cholera and yellow fever decimated tenement districts in Buenos Aires. And then this is where DEI comes in. They stopped tracking race in their census completely. And so no one knew anymore exactly what that population was. And then, like us, they waged war on indigenous populations, killing thousands, and many of the women and children were in forced labor after that. One of the major European populations that had immigrated over was the Germans. And in 1946, Argentina elected Juan Perón, who was sympathetic to Mussolini. And when World War II was over, in order to become that industrialized power, he encouraged Nazis to come to Argentina, even smuggling over Nazi rocket scientists, nuclear physicists, and military officers. Their extradition laws made it extremely difficult to have anybody removed. In today's Argentina, the term negro is a regularly used classist slur to sum up all non-white populations. And today, only 2.9% of the population is indigenous and only 0.7% is black, as opposed to the 37% in the 19th century. Of course, black and indigenous ancestry is still in the DNA of most of them, but most don't care. They have successfully turned almost their entire population white. In this country, if not for the bravery of black Americans, the same would probably be true for them. But at least we still track tribes and make an attempt to preserve these histories and cultures. At least we did. But that may not be for long on our current trajectory. We might become Argentina if we don't stop this. And with that, y'all better be rooting for Spain.